Sales in general has a bad reputation for being sleazy and slimy. Back when I was in university, nobody ever said, oh, when I graduate from college, I'm gonna be a salesman, right? It's just something that people didn't really do. However, the reality is sales is one of the most critical skills you can absolutely have as an individual. Not only that, but in business, if you're not able to generate any sales, well, you don't have any revenue, and without any revenue, you don't have a business. And so that's why sales is extremely critical. So what I'm gonna do in this video is share my personal story of how I got into sales. And my goal is to inspire you and to show you why sales is actually a very respectable career and very viable as a long-term career option. Now, what's going on, everybody? My name is Patrick Dang. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you want to see more videos like this, and let's get started. So in this video, like I said before, I'm going to share with you my story of how I got into sales. And back when I was in university, I went to the University of Southern California, Marshall School of Business, studying business, right? And at the time I was minoring or had a concentration in marketing and entrepreneurship. That was just what I was interested in, right? I had no interest in sales at the time. So there's two things I was really interested in. It was marketing and streetwear. And streetwear is basically like men's fashion, or it doesn't have to be men's exactly, but it's, you know, brands like Off-White, Supreme, you know, Yeezy, those would be the contemporary brands now, but I was into this before even Instagram came out. So I was into it a long time. And I always wanted to start a career in it, but I didn't really know how. And so when I was a sophomore during the summer going into my junior year, my third year, I was interning at this marketing company that it was called Allied, and they did like PR and marketing for big movies like Shrek, what was Lego Movie, Batman. So basically they helped get the word out to get people to watch the movie, right? And basically I was interning for free just to get experience part-time. And you know, it was all right. It was a cool experience, but I felt like I wanted something more. So, you know, every day I would go on this website called hypebeast.com, and I saw this trailer for this company called The Foundation. Okay, so this is where I got my first internship. So The Foundation is basically a sales agency that helps brands sell their products into different retail stores across America. And this is before like people started selling, you know, so much volume on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, where retail was a really big thing. So they dealt with brands like G-Shock, Super Footwear, what other brands? Super Sunglasses, Native Shoes. So a lot of different brands that actually does millions in revenue per year. And basically they put out this trailer on hypebeast.com to like try to figure out how to get more clients, right? So for their business. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is actually super cool. So I wanted to work here and get some experience in streetwear because I always wanted to do that, but I didn't know how. And they had a branch in Los Angeles, based in New York, but I was living in Los Angeles. So basically I found the founder of the company, or one of the co-founders. I sent him a cold email. I said, hey, you guys, I saw your video on Hypebeast. Are you guys looking for any interns? And he said, yeah, I'll forward your email to the manager at the Los Angeles branch. Forwarded my email. Manager asked for me to come in for an interview, did the interview, and then I got my sales internship basically. And so basically at this point, I'm doing 2 internships at the same time. And I'm not getting paid, by the way, it's all for free, but I just wanted to get experience, right? Because when you're young, that's what you do. So basically I started sales as a sales intern at the foundation. And I didn't really want to do sales in the beginning, but they didn't really have any marketing positions. It was a sales agency. So obviously I got to help the sales reps, but I didn't really care because I just wanted to get my foot in the door and learn what this industry was all about and see if I can, you know, have a career in streetwear. So when I started, I was basically doing everything from like, you know, ironing clothes to make sure they look nice for in the showroom, you know, doing Excel sheets and a lot of administrative work. But then as time moved on, I started to do more sales related stuff like cold calling people to set up appointments, going to trade shows and you know, talking to buyers that work at like PacSun and Zoomies and stuff like that, and seeing how they, you know, make buying decisions on what they should put in their store. And this was actually really good because it was really my first exposure to professional sales, and I wasn't necessarily asking for it. It just kind of fell into my lap and I got to see all these things. Like for example, you know, when a buyer comes in and they're deciding if they want to buy like $100,000 worth of backpacks for all their stores around America, that's a very interesting, complex conversation, right? Because it's a big decision, it's a lot of dollars, and you have to really navigate that as a salesperson to successfully close a deal like that, right? And that's when I really noticed the difference between, you know, professional sales versus like, you know, someone selling you something at the mall, right? It's very different. When you're selling something at the mall or something small, you're just trying to get the sale and you don't really care about the person. But when you're selling something such high volume, you have to like care about the success of your customer because it's all about the long-term relationship. And so that completely shifted my perspective of sales from being like sleazy and slimy and weird to like, wow, actually these guys are like consultants, or like they are really helping you out make a buying decision to make your business better. And so that's when my world of sales completely opened up. And just watching how salespeople interacted and how they influenced and persuaded the buyers to actually make big purchasing decisions, it was crazy. It was like magic to me, just watching like you can have such an impact on somebody with the words you say, right? And that was amazing because not only it's applicable to business, but in everyday life. And because of, you know, being able to have that skill, or me seeing that, that's why salespeople make the big bucks. That's why they make commission on everything they sell, because it's very difficult to do this and you get rewarded for the value that you provide. So some of these reps are making like 100,000 a year or multiple hundreds of thousands a year by selling products, which I thought was crazy because some of the people didn't even go to college and they were making more than a doctor would. And I was like, wow, this is actually really something special. And so after that internship, I went back to USC. I think I was a junior or senior at the time, and I wasn't really sold on the idea of being a salesperson quite yet. It definitely opened my eyes to it, but I wasn't like, oh, I want to be a salesperson when I graduate. And at USC, you know, at the time, and probably still now, like tech entrepreneurship is very popular, right? Everybody wants to start a tech startup, and I wanted to do that too. So basically I just, you know, gave up the idea of, you know, getting a normal job. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to start a business. And during my senior year, I gave it a shot. I won, I entered in a startup competition. I won a few thousand and got third place for my startup idea about technology and streetwear. And it doesn't really matter what the idea was. I tried to build it, had some money, but I quickly realized that it's not easy to build a tech startup, especially if you don't code. And I tried to find a partner who was technical, but then it didn't work out. And so I was like, all right, forget this idea. And basically my senior year, I just said, okay, well, I'm just gonna enjoy my senior year. I'm not gonna really think about too much about work. And when I graduate, that's when I really will start my business again, or try again, right? So basically, my senior year, I just had a lot of fun, did a lot of social activities, just leave it at that. And you know, senior year came around, and I was gonna work together with one of my friends to start a business. And I personally didn't even apply to any single job, right? I was like, why would I get a regular job when I'm confident enough to start my own business? And I also realized that because I had that charisma, and I'd also had a good GPA, you know, I think my GPA at the end was 3.5, so I graduated with honors from USC, which is quite a good school in California. So I was like, well, if everything fails, I can just get a job anyways. So I gave it a shot after I graduated, didn't apply to jobs, and I realized that I sucked at entrepreneurship. I wasn't able to generate any money. I didn't have any great ideas. And I was just like, what the heck is going on, right? Like when you're so confident in yourself, but you're not getting any results, you start questioning like, what is going on? And so what I did was I started reading a lot of books, like entrepreneurship books. Then I got into sales books, marketing books, and basically just re-educating myself of how business even worked. And, you know, just books like Malcolm Gladwell, The Tipping Point. Actually, that was the tipping point that got me started in reading, just learning about, I guess that would be like pop psychology of like why people do the things they do and why they buy what they buy. And I was like, oh, actually the reason why I failed so hard in entrepreneurship is because I can't sell anything, right? Because if you can sell something, then you should have a business. And, you know, looking back at my experience at the foundation, you know, being a sales intern, I also realized that if you're able to sell stuff, well, you can just work with any brand and sell their thing, and boom, there you go, you're generating money. And so I didn't know how to sell. So I was thinking, well, I'm gonna pause on the entrepreneurship thing. I still wanna be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to do it. But right now I need to learn the skill, the hard skill of selling. And so one of my friends worked at Oracle at the time. Actually, I had two friends that worked there, and they were in this program called the Class of Program, which is like a sales training program for new college graduates, and they, you know, try to fast track you into succeeding at Oracle. And so I hit them up on Facebook, and I was like, hey, you know, how is it like working at Oracle in this program? And, you know, the people that I talked to, they said there's pros and cons, but overall it's pretty good if you want to learn about sales and if you want to get paid. Yeah, that's very important, to get paid to learn how to sell. And I was like, oh, I'm sold, right? And that was the only job I applied for. I applied for it, got it pretty easily actually. And I remember in the interview, they were like, oh, so Patrick, it's been 6 months since you graduated. How come you didn't apply for this job after graduation or before graduation, right? So you had a job lined up. I was like, oh, well, I wanted to start a business, but it didn't work out, right? And I kind of turned that into a positive during the interview. So it was very easy for me to get the job, right? Because you have the entrepreneurial spirit, most likely you're gonna be good at sales. So in the end, basically the only reason for why I got a job at Oracle doing sales was because I failed at entrepreneurship at first, and I realized it's because I didn't know how to generate any revenue. That just led me to wanting to be in sales. And also the reason why I chose technology sales specifically was because I felt like if you knew how to sell technology, it would be very easy to sell anything else like consulting or backpacks or whatever, because it's less complex. So technology, in my opinion, is the most complex. And if you're able to sell that, you can kind of sell anything in a way. So that's why I took a job at Oracle doing sales, selling specifically technology, right? So it wasn't as if I, was in university and I was like, one day I want to work at Oracle and be a salesman. It was more like, I wanted to do all these other things that sound sexy and exciting, but you start to realize that to do the sexy, exciting thing, you have to learn how to sell. Because if you can't sell and you get people to use your product or buy your service or whatever it is, well, you cannot even be an entrepreneur because you can't generate any money. And without money, you can't hire people, you can't do anything, right? And so I think that's the thing that people realize over time is that a lot of people want to do something sexy, but then in the end, a lot of people then get into sales because it's such a high value thing. And the problem with sales right now, I think, is there's a bad reputation around it. A lot of times it's because of bad experiences from low-level salespeople. And when I say low level, I don't mean it in a degrading way. It's just like when you're selling something low ticket, right? People are just like using high pressure techniques to get you to buy, and they don't care if you buy in the future. Like you go to the mall, people push you into buying makeup, or they do that for girls at least, or like, yeah, I mean, I've experienced that where they try to like put lotion on your hand. They're like, hey, you should buy this lotion. I'm just like, dude, I'm not even interested. So just stuff like that. It's kind of weird to say no when they're pushing so hard. But and also like movies, right? Like for example, if you think about like The Wolf of Wall Street, which is a very famous movie. If you think about the premise of that movie, the character in the movie was selling things that he shouldn't be selling. And that's why he went to jail. And basically he was stealing people's money and using his ability to persuade in a manipulative way and take from people. And, because of stories like that, I should say, sales doesn't always have a good reputation. But in fact, like if you think about it, all great companies, they have sales and business development in some capacity. Like Oracle is one of the biggest companies in the world in technology, and they have a huge sales force generating revenue in the enterprise space. Google and Facebook have sales reps selling advertising to big companies, right? So like pretty much every major company has some type of person doing sales. Even if you're a CEO, you're also selling too. You're selling ideas. When you're hiring people, you're selling your vision on what you want the company to be and how you're gonna help their dreams come true. So in reality, no matter what it is you're doing, whether you're an executive, a salesperson, an accountant even, or maybe a middle manager, you're always selling in some capacity. And so that's why I wanna encourage you guys that, based on my story of getting into sales, and even now, like every day I'm selling something in some way, and I have my own business now doing sales training, ironically, but I'm always selling myself, I'm selling my ideas, I'm selling my programs, and my whole business is based around sales. And if you kind of look at any other business, their business is based around sales too. So I want to really encourage you guys that, instead of looking at sales from a perspective that's very negative of like, oh, I don't want to rip people off, I don't want to take their money. That's not actually true. Sales is all about understanding people and helping them out to make a buying decision, right? And hopefully if you're selling a great product or service, by buying whatever it is you're selling, their life is going to be improved in some way. And so that's why I want to kind of reverse it. And that's why I kind of, started doing sales training and started this YouTube channel to show everyday regular people that sales is something that can be prestigious and can be something that you can be proud of, right? You don't have to feel bad to be a salesperson. It's something that should be treated with respect because it's so important in everyday society. And not only that, but these skills translate into everyday life. So, being able to communicate, persuade, and influence, those are just, basic everyday human needs. So hopefully by the end of this video, if you made it this far, that you got a little more inspiration to get into sales, right? Because I really do recommend, even if you don't plan to be a salesperson for the rest of your life, I really do encourage everybody to give it a try, whether it's an internship or just a small job or side job and just getting started, because it really does teach you a lot about how life works and how business works, and you'll start to understand that sales is something that should be proud of. You should be proud of being a salesperson because it's not easy, and that's why you get paid the big bucks. And so with that said, that's pretty much my story of how I got it in sales. And I really hope you guys do consider it as a career option, because I really do think it's something that will really make a positive impact in your life. Just seeing it and feeling it and doing it, you'll understand like how difficult but rewarding it can be. And so with that said, if you made it to this end of this video, I hope you guys liked it. Go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to see more videos like this. And if you made it this far, let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos about me sharing my personal stories, or maybe if I should do a podcast or something like that, because always interested to hear what you guys want to see. And with that said, my name is Patrick Dang, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one.